how to master words in English or in any foreign language. This is the most frequently asked questions, and almost anyone encounter with this dilemma. And the first and foremost thing which you should know and do is to visualize the words you learned. Remember, when we were a child, we didn't learn our mother tongue simply just by repeating the words or didn't learn it by heart. We learn it by the examples. The next thing is make some action. Of course, it may sound crazy, but believe me, it really works. For example, the word green, which represent big smile on your face. Try it. Our third tip is listen and read more. Once you learn any word in foreign language, you need to pay attention in which part of the sentence it's being used. So you need to be a good listener and a good reader.
Today's word is peruse, spelled P-E-R-U-S-E. Peruse is a verb that means to examine or consider with attention and in detail, to study. It can also mean to look over or through in a casual or cursory manner, or to read, especially to read over in an attentive or leisurely manner. Here's the word used in a sentence from the Boston Globe by Ty Burr. Your best friend here is eBird.org, a crowd-sourced website managed by the Cornell Lab of Ornithology, where birders file checklists and where you can peruse a map of hotspots to find out what's been seen near you in recent days. Peruse has long been a literary word used by such famous authors as Shakespeare, Tennyson, and Thomas Hardy, and it tends to have a literary flavor even in our time. Peruse can suggest paying close attention to something, but it can also simply mean to read. The read sense, which is not especially new and was in fact included in Samuel Johnson's 1755 dictionary, has drawn some criticism over the years for being too broad. Some commentators have recommended that peruse be reserved for reading with great care and attention to detail. But the fact remains that peruse is often used in situations where a simple read definition could be easily substituted. It may suggest either an attentive read or a quick scan.
And there is also more examples to this word peruse. And there are he opened a newspaper and began to peruse the personal ads. He perused the newspaper over breakfast.
Debunk, spelled D-E-B-U-N-K. Debunk is a verb. To debunk something, such as a story, theory, or idea, is to show or expose the falseness of it. Here's the word used in a sentence from Science Focus by Jules Howard. The idea that dogs spend every waking moment trying to usurp their human masters and become the alpha in the house was first introduced by a wolf ecologist in the mid-20th century and was later debunked after ecologists realized that the original observations of dominance behaviors were based on captive wolves unrelated to one another kept in a zoo enclosure. To debunk something is to take the bunk out of it, that bunk being nonsense. Bunk is short for the synonymous bunkum, which has political origins. The word debunk has been in use since at least the 1920s, and it contrasts with synonyms like disprove and rebut by suggesting that something is not merely untrue but is also a sham, a trick meant to deceive. One can simply disprove a myth, but if it's debunked, the implication is that the myth was a grossly exaggerated or foolish claim.
Debunk. Synonym expose. The writer's aim was to debunk the myth that had grown up around the actress. It is the first and third of these factors that can be most easily debunked. The book should not, however, be taken as an attempt to debunk the new techniques.
Scrumptious, spelled Scrumptious. Scrumptious is an adjective that means delightful, excellent. Especially, it means delicious. Here's the word used in a sentence from the El Paso Times by Maria Cortez Gonzalez. The main dish was a scrumptious serving of noodles, chicken pieces, and shrimp in a peanut-flavored sauce and some scallions. First appearing in English in the early 1800s, the word scrumptious is a mouth-watering one that is used to describe what is delightful and delectable. It probably originated as an alteration of sumptuous, and it carries the elegant and wonderful connotations of its parent. Speakers of Middle English borrowed sumptuous from the Latin adjective sumptuosus, a derivation of the Latin noun sumptus, meaning expense or cost. British author Roald Dahl had some fun with scrumptious and created a delightful coinage when he inserted the infix diddly into the word to make scrumdiddlyumptious, a word that the chocolate magnate Willy Wonka uses to name his best-selling treats in the novel Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Scrumptious. Synonyms: delectable, delicious, luscious, tasty. For example, desserts include scrumptious pies and cakes. That chocolate cake looks scrumptious. She baked a scrumptious chocolate cake. Aversion. Aversion is a noun and it describes a feeling of strong dislike or of not wishing to do something. Synonyms for the word aversion: hatred, hate, horror, disgust. For example, she has a deep aversion to getting up in the morning. Many people have a natural and emotional aversion to insects. Well, I couldn't find the best picture which would describe the word aversion than this picture. Of course, after watching this picture, you will definitely remember this word. Our last but not least word in our today's lesson is subjugate. Subjugate is a verb and it's a formal word which means to defeat people or a country and rule them in a way that allows them no freedom. Well, no one wants to be subjugated by someone. Here is the use of the word subjugate in the sentence. The emperor's armies subjugated the surrounding lands. The rich landowners subjugated the peasants working the land. They had been sent to subjugate the newly discovered life on Jupiter. Our today's words: peruse, debunk, scrumptious, subjugate, and aversion.